Hello, everyone. Welcome to summer of 2021, and it's time for another 3 questions with. I just love doing these segments, getting to know a little bit better and helping you get to know a little bit better some of the community leaders out in the NAV and Business Central community. And boy, I've been looking forward to this discussion for quite a while, finally getting back and getting Steve Chinsky on the schedule. So Steve is here with us today. Hello, Steve.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for carving out time. So glad to finally have you on, and we're going to have some fun today, I hope. And for all of you who have not seen a 3 questions with before, hey, you probably figured this part out. We do 3 questions with a community leader, and we're going to go ahead and dive straight in, and we're going to open up with our standard question before we get on to some different type of questions and ask, who is Steve Chinsky? I like just putting it that way and letting you go, Steve. So, who is Steve Chinsky?
Who's Steve Chinsky? Steve Chinsky is a guy who has been doing NAV in BC for the last 22 years, implementing it, traveling the world, implementing in here in obviously United States, overseas as well. Left accounting after doing it for 16 years. Yes, I'm aging myself. But yeah, left accounting and basically had been in public and private and then moved into consulting. I really love it. I mean, it is definitely a passion of mine, being part of the community, definitely getting the recognition and the accolades, of course, has been nice from my peers, from, different people around the community. I truly have a passion for cooking. I have a psycho passion for doing crazy, crazy things with given my age, and I do some crazy bucket list items. I love travel, cannot stop going somewhere, whether it be personally or on business, obviously, but love traveling, trying to get around as many places as I can. COVID has not helped the cause, but it is finally getting back to normal, as I put it. And really, truly just loving helping anybody out. No questions asked. I mean, that's me. I have no filter sometimes. I mean, I will say it like it is. I have no problem really bending over backwards for colleagues, friends, people I've known and have become friends over the last 22 years doing this crazy software we call NAV in BC, and really just seeing where the future lies for myself.
And so many questions, sub-questions come off of that, and I'm going to try and restrain myself so we don't take an hour to do this. However, we got to follow up with a few things. First, you're with Wipfli now, correct?
Yes, I moved on. I'm with Wipfli. They are the 15th largest accounting firm in the United States, and I manage the operations and financial ERP practice group.
Fantastic. And you have worked at a couple different partner organizations. You're also a former end user as well, correct?
Yes, I definitely have put in my stripes as working for many partners. I think about 4 or 5 at this point, different partners throughout the United States, some national ones, some regional ones, obviously. And you are correct. I working with the partners, and I did work for actually myself, an end user. I had a 3-year stint whereby I was an end user of the product in the cannabis community. So great industry, as one would say, kept you really on a high point, quote, quote, high point. Yeah, we'd used NAV and did that for about 3 years as the VP of IT and implemented it there, and then kind of left as the company kind of had a turn for the worst, cannabis being so volatile.
Right. And we have a previous employment experience in common. Both did some time with Tribridge, right?
Yes. Tribridge was one of my partners.
Yeah.
VMI out of New York, Columbus, Labyrinth, Tugunya. I mean, I think I got them all. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind tour for me. I think each partner is very different. I think they all have some things in common. I really do believe that. And I think the community being so niche together, where we know each other for so many decades now, and it's funny how we crisscross paths constantly. We work together, maybe whatever, but we always meet up in the end somewhere.
if everybody watching can't tell, Steve is one of those guys, you ever find him anywhere at a local chapter meeting, at a conference, just crossing paths in the airport, buy him a beer, sit down. He's got some fantastic stories to share. He'll help anybody with any question on NAVUG BC. And it's just it's a beautiful time to spend with Steve. So I'm putting that out there, issuing that challenge. So I hope you get a chance to do that at some point. And hopefully this fall we'll be able to connect again at conferences. So We'll see how that all shakes out. All right. You mentioned wanting to do some crazy things and check off some crazy things on your bucket list. And that was one thing I've always noticed is, as long as I can remember, your LinkedIn profile, that picture looks like you just finished doing some skydiving. Is that right?
Yeah. Ever since I turned 50, I made a bucket list, like probably a lot of people do. And my bucket list is pretty crazy. So I did skydiving when I turned 50. That was one of my things in my birthday month. I went skydiving. I've done it multiple times.
Wow.
Got certified in scuba, so I do scuba diving down to 100 feet.
Wow.
I've raced Lamborghinis psychotically in the Poconos. Just you get trained for a couple of laps and then you go wild. Try obviously some really crazy travel experiences I want to do. Like I haven't gone to Italy yet, but there are some really beautiful locations I'd like to get to just to see what they're like.
Nice.
Like I said, I try to pick something weird or something crazy that I want to do and put it on my bucket list and try to get to it. And obviously this past year has been a little quiet, but previous to COVID, it was a little pretty wild for me. So I'm doing a lot of crazy things.
That is absolutely fantastic. So I haven't gone skydiving yet. I think I want to try that. Like I gotta imagine what a rush that is, right? I think it's one of those things you got to try once to just experience it, huh?
Skydiving, it was so funny. I mean, everybody says you're crazy. You're going up 25,000 feet. Are you nuts? I mean, it's like the adrenaline is beyond control when you're flying up there. It's just you're building it up. You can just feel it. You're boom, ba boom, ba boom. It's like coming out of your chest, right. And then it's like you're strapped on because you're doing obviously you've got your teacher behind you who's doing so he's telling you, okay, walk up to the door, and the second you hit the door and you look out, the only thing you see is like ants. It's like it's a ground, yes, and then it's like you're beyond, like you can't even, like, other than breathing to stay alive, it's already out of your chest. There's nothing you can do about it. And he's like, ready, 1, 2, 3, go. And it's like he goes, do something. So in my case, I was being filmed on the way down, so I have a full film from top to bottom of me going up and down. And awesome. He goes, let's do a roll. So I'm sitting there going, a roll. Yeah, here I am, 50 years old. And he wants me to like spin roll to come out of a plane. So I'm looking around. I'm like, nope, I won't get hit by a propeller. Thank God. I'm out, I'm on this side. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a whirl. So he basically goes, we're shaking 1, 2. And so he's pushing you enough to roll out. So as you're doing it, you're rolling and you're basically like, doing it, it's not long before you come out of it, and then you're basically like you're just floating down. You can feel the wind, obviously. You're feeling it because everything is pushing on there, and you make those funny faces. You see people who are up in the sky. You get like crazy puffed up mouth, the whole bit, and it is a complete and utter rush. I mean, beyond. It's sick. I recommend it to anybody. Just do it. Forget about the fear. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like there's so much, they test everything. It's like you got the emergency chute. It's all there. Just do it and get it over with.
Probably safer than driving a car, I would imagine, huh?
Oh, it's much safer than driving because you got other people to deal with. Here, you only have one thing, and that is, does the emergency chute work? For the tandem guy, and as long as he's operational, you're operational.
Yeah. I gotta imagine there'll be a lot more people doing these kind of extraordinary things now that we're getting back out and able to get together with people and do some things now. I imagine there's a lot of pent up demand for that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's inspiring. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Yes, I think my wife's ready to go too. I haven't talked to her about it in a while, but we'll check that out. All right. So you also mentioned just your passion for the actual system, NAV BC, your passion for helping people, a passion for participating in the community. I don't know how long we've known each other now. It's got to be 7, 8, 9 years. And that is one of the things that always struck me. I talk a lot about who's passionate in the community and really likes to share their knowledge, but you have to be at the top of that chart. It's just crazy how much you want to help others and how you'll put so much effort into connecting people and just expanding the community and sharing knowledge and all that. Where does all that come from? I've always admired that very deeply.
It's funny. It's like rooted in me, I call it. It's kind of like I love helping people, and I don't care, friends, family. I don't look for it to get paid, let's say. I'm not looking for it for, as one, I'm not thinking of getting like a paycheck, so it's not like that. This is all about, I think, my moral compass, I call it. Maybe it's my rooted being, that I just love to help people, and that's just me. And I do it because I feel good about it. I think it's the best thing. But I think for the NAV and BC world, it all started with that. I mean, and then like I just loved helping, and then it just grew and grew and grew. And I just basically haven't really given. I mean, I don't give it up. I mean, I don't mind moderating forums. I don't mind answering questions. I don't mind doing all the different sites that are out there, today that people ask questions, or somebody drops me an email. I have no qualms answering an email saying, what do you do for this? And I'm like, sure, I'll send you an answer. But I will say this, I have to give, a shout out, as one would say, because if I date this all the way back, this goes back to when Microsoft was running kind of like the users groups way back in the beginning. I really thought about starting it then. There was just minor steam was picking up pace, because remember in the beginning, it wasn't as crazy as it is today, where the communities grew like 20, 30, 100-fold, as one would say. But back then I really wanted to do it. I mean, my people who taught me NAV and BC from out of Atlanta, the Tom Blaisdells of the world and all of those guys, they gave me this fire in my belly, kind of like, have fun with the software. And the software is fun for me. It is, because it's what I grew up doing with my experience.
It's such a weird thing to say, but so many people say that about the system, right?
Yeah. It's you get used to it. People learn it. I'm not trying to build out the next atom bomb kind of thing. It's fun. It's
right.
And I love the helping. And then that grew into where the first real community users group came about, and people like Kerry, like others in the very beginning stages between the partner directions community or the obviously user group side, people turned to me like, hey, help out, do this, do that. And kind of like that just spawned into this where I am today. Where you see me on multiple websites doing different things and just doing it, every day. And I just can't give it up. I think it makes my day. Ironically enough, it's like people say, I need my caffeine, I need my forums, answer my stuff, and then I'll get back to work.
I love it. It is this really something special, our community, about how we inspire each other to help, and the very much a pay it forward attitude. And everybody sees other people being passionate about it, and they're motivated to help others. And it's just very self-sustaining that way. And I absolutely love that about the community. Yeah.
Very true.
Yep. Fantastic. Steve, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
All the time. Anytime you want it, please. Yeah. This has been fun, and I love it. Great catching up and getting together.
And being subjected to 3 random questions like that. And no, I appreciate you hanging in there. So, as I said, folks, anytime you see Steve someplace, sit down with him, enjoy a story or two, and certainly thank him if you have the opportunity for everything he's contributed to the community as well. So, Steve, thank you very much again, everybody. I hope you enjoy these series, and we're going to keep doing them as long as we keep getting views. Of course, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel to get your new view, and you'll be notified when we post more of these, as well as our other how-to videos and tips and everything else. So hope to hear from you. If you have any suggestions, of course, about who to interview, let me know, and I would love to see some suggestions and arrange those for you. And until we talk next time, thank you very much for watching, and I hope everybody has a great summer and stay safe out there. Take care.